not enough rest energy is one of the things that's missing in order for the body to keep up, and keep working and helping us. Okay? So we want to learn how to do enough breathing during the day to keep the allergen under control. There is no allergen, I don't care what it is, that can live in oxygen, particularly ozone. Okay? There is no allergen. So if your body had enough reserve oxygen in your body, you would never have an allergy symptom. That's your first line of defense. So ideally, you shouldn't even have to set off your alarm. If you had enough oxygen in your body, the alarm wouldn't have to even go off, because it'd be gone just like that as soon as it hits you. That's ideal. Okay? So it's when you let your oxygen reserves get low, which is a part of your rest energy and breathing technique, then that's when your alarm's going to be going on a lot more, and then you're going to go and really pull extra from your battery bank. Another part of your reserves is mineral reserves. That makes up your potential. That your body has to go. When the alarm goes off, it has to go right to the reserves and pull these minerals out in order to help deal with these allergens. And when you get low on these minerals, or become exhausted in these minerals, then you get the symptoms showing up. All right? Now, one of the main minerals that your bank needs in reserve is vitamin A. Besides oxygen, okay? We'll use oxygen as one of those too, because oxygen really is a mineral. That's the first thing you want to make sure you never get low on is oxygen. And if you are, you got to build that up, or you won't deal with your allergens in the long haul. But vitamin A is the main vitamin. It's a lubricant, and it's the main ingredient of your mucous membranes. And your mucous membranes are the guardian angel, so to speak, of your body. In other words, they lubricate and protect all your tissues and cells. And as long as there's this mucous membrane lubricant in any part of your body, you will not ever have allergic reaction. You can't have one. Because that mucous membrane is made up of this lubricant, no allergen can penetrate through it. It can't break its line of defense. And so, for example, when your sinuses get infected or you get allergic reaction in your sinus area, it's because there's not enough vitamin A there for the mucous membrane to secrete that lubricant to protect it. So the next line of defense is for the body to put histamine and with water and drain it to protect it. See, if you don't have enough lubricant to protect it, then it becomes watery. So, for example, diarrhea is an allergic reaction in your bowel to at least to a virus or to a lack of lubrication in your bowel that protects the mucous membranes that lubricate it so that things can slip through good. So when they can't slip through good, they become irritated and infected. So they start having a runny nose. Did you ever think of your colon having a runny nose? That's what diarrhea is. It's having a runny nose. A big runny nose. That colon's pretty big, so it can put out a lot of water. But see, even that is the body's way of trying to protect your colon, because there's something not in the bank that's missing. In other words, the alarm's going off and there's no vitamin A or oxygen in your reserves to come to the rescue, to protect it. So then these symptoms are just the way the body's trying to cope under the circumstances. And so then we want to take things that suppress those symptoms. So I got a runny nose, my sinuses are draining, so we dry them up. And what we dry them up with sets off the alarm even more. And so we drive it in even further. We dig deeper into the layers of that, and then we end up with asthma. Asthma is suppressing colds and flu symptoms by taking medication that dries it up. And we eventually drive it into the lungs. And we have all kinds of lung allergies and infections and things like that. See, by trying to suppress the symptoms instead of dealing with what the cause of allergies is, we end up getting into a situation where we're going to not be able to deal with the symptoms at all. You can stop an asthma attack just as quick as you can get that person to breathe. Make them breathe and get that oxygen in there. And it's over with just that quick. Hives is over with as soon as oxygen gets to those tissues. But we need vitamin A for the long haul because it lubricates and protects all the time. So we never want to let vitamin A get low. What uses up vitamin A? Continuous allergen attacks on it, you know. All these things that we talked about that cause allergens, you know, they dry you out. They use up your vitamin A. All allergens use up vitamin A. All chemicals that come against your body work against the vitamin A. And as long as you can keep it replaced, then you're okay. But when you don't have enough A to cover, then that's what gets you in trouble. So I'm convinced people need 100,000 units of vitamin A. A milligram unit comes in units of A just to break even today with pollution. You know, and some people have a real problem. Maybe have to go up to 300,000 or 400,000 units a day just to catch up. But the body won't pull in vitamin A if the bank and your reserves are low on potassium. You can take A by the handfuls, but it won't do you any good if you're too low in potassium because potassium has to be there in order for the body to pick up vitamin A. And then the body won't pick up potassium if you're low in adrenals. In other words, your adrenals are shot, which is part of your battery system. So if your batteries run down, your adrenals are run down, and adrenals aren't telling the body you need potassium, and the body is not picking up potassium, and it's not going to pick up vitamin A. So you can see how we better make sure our battery stays up, charged up, see? Because that's the beginning of it, of the mineral loss, because we lose a lot more minerals when our battery's not charged up. Okay? So those are some of the sequences the body goes through. Now we need calcium and magnesium. We need these others to balance things. The four main minerals that have to be balanced in your reserves is potassium, sodium, magnesium, and calcium. So those are the main minerals that your body has to stay balanced in as far as your potential, your reserves, or you're going to be running your battery down and become exhausted to where then you won't have the resistance against these allergens, which then are called allergies. Okay, so we want a lifestyle that encourages the breathing and the rest. 56% of your energy comes from breathing. And you breathe through your skin more at night. So you want to keep the skin healthy and clean. And breathing real good. And because that's when you pick up most of your oxygen is at night through your skin. And during the day, you're breathing through your lungs. You want to increase their breathing capacity. And breathing exercises. Learn to sing. Even if it sounds like you're in the cracks somewhere. You know, do a lot of singing or playing the harmonicas, or things that make you increase the total lung capacity. Everybody should do that. Because that's your main defense against allergens is oxygen. And breathing, that's the breath of life. That's the element of life. is oxygen. And there's ways that you can condition your rooms with air fillers that produce ozone. And there's you can get my literature that describes the rest bed, which gives you 3 nights rest in 1 night. And there's ways to catch up on your rest. Now there's ways that you can add to your environment to help the body catch up on some of these things. And so you want to learn about ways that you can help the body get more rest and get more oxygen and things like that, so it can fight back faster and quicker and then maintain it. In fact, these are some of the things we're going to have to learn how to do just to keep going with the way man's greed is tearing down our environment. And so we want to get there, and then we want the water. Water's 80% of your source of oxygen, H2O. And you need that oxygen, see, from the water. And the water also helps to clean out the obstructions to make room for the oxygen. Because the more obstructions you have in the body, the more you deplete your oxygen reserves. And the more obstructions you have in your body, the harder it is for you to rest. Okay, and charge your battery. Because the more obstructions you have in your body, the more your battery has to work. The more the alarm is set off, the more you have to resist. And of course, the more quickly you're going to become exhausted. Okay? So we need that water intake. We need it especially in the morning, because that's when your body does most of its cleaning, is in the morning. So we don't want to eat heavy in the morning. And we want to eat our main meal at noon to 2. And not overeat. And get a balance. And make sure it's food according to the qualification that we gave food. We don't want to eat at night or eat late, because your food digestion energy slows way down as the sun moves away from us. Your digestion slows way down. And you eat heavy at night, then you're working on that food all night, and there's a source of a lot of allergens because you don't digest well at night. Plus, the body having to do that digestion all night takes away from your recharging of your battery. So you're not getting a full charge on your battery. So in all of those situations, you're lowering your ability to resist the allergens. And at some point, the body can't.